So, you've been looking to step your Commander game up, but like most of us, you've quickly realized that Commander can be pretty expensive. And if you're anything like me, you know that every single dollar counts. You have to spend your money wisely and make sure that you're keeping that wallet happy. I get it can be tough out there for a budget builder, but no worries. I'm definitely here to help. Let's dive into my list of 5 budget alternatives to expensive EDH staples. If you were making a list of the best lands in the Commander format, Gaias Cradle would definitely be towards the top. This super-powered land card can take a mediocre deck and make it great. Gaias Cradle is the epitome of a green card. It rewards you for having a board full of creatures, and it gives you insane amounts of mana. Now, as awesome as this land is, with a price tag of $284, makes it a little difficult for the average player out there to actually use it. Fortunately for us common folk, Ixalan brought us the card Growing Rights of Itlimoc. If you're able to get 4 creatures on your battlefield and keep Growing Rights of Itlimoc around, at your end step you can flip it and it becomes essentially a Gaias Cradle. Obviously, flipping this bad boy is a lot easier said than it is done. Most Commander decks out there run a lot of targeted removal and board wipes, so it can be kind of difficult to actually pull it off, but if you can make it happen, you have a great land in play. And currently, you can pick up Growing Rights of Itlimoc for right around $5, so it fits into a tight budget pretty well too. Having the ability to manipulate the top of your deck and influence your draws is partly what makes blue such a powerful color. Fortunately for us non-blue plebs, there's an artifact out there like Senseis Diviining Top. For only 1 mana, we can manipulate the top 3 cards of our library, shuffle them around a bit, and make sure we're getting things in our hand that we might actually want there. And if you find a card that you really need right away, or just want to protect the top from removal, you can always tap it to draw the top card of your library, then put the top back on top of your library. As awesome as all of that is, with a current price tag of right around $13.50, Senseis Diviining Top can be a little out of reach for some Commander players. Currently, there aren't any cards out there that really do what the top does, but there are a couple of cards that I found that do a pretty decent imitation. Soothsaying is a really nice, low-costed enchantment that lets you pay any amount of mana and then look at that many cards off the top of your library. Obviously, it's a lot more of a mana investment than Senseis Diviining Top. Just to look at the top 3 cards, you have to pay 3 mana, whereas to do the same with top, you only have to pay 1. The key difference here is you can pick up a Soothsaying for right around $3, which is pretty good. Crystal Ball is one of those cards that a lot of Commander players forget about. It isn't as low costed as Senseis Top, but having the ability to scry 2 every turn is really nice. I'm also a bigger fan of scrying as opposed to just looking at the top 3 cards of your library, because with scry, if you don't like those cards, you can throw them away and put them at the bottom of your library and hopefully draw something better. Plus, at only 33 cents, this card is pennies to pick up. When it comes to consistent card draw in Commander, it's hard to beat cards like Phyrexian Arena. Drawing 2 cards at the beginning of each of your turns instead of only 1 adds up in a hurry and is a fantastic way to keep your hand full of cards. With a current price tag of right around $7, I can understand why Phyrexian Arena might be out of the price range for some people out there. Don't be discouraged though, Black is chock full of cards that have very similar effects to Phyrexian Arena. 2 of my favorites are Underworld Connections and Bloodgift Demon. Underworld Connections is basically the same card as Phyrexian Arena. The key difference is you have to be willing to give up one of your lands that instead of tapping for mana, you can tap to pay a life and draw a card. I can understand why giving up a land might seem like a steep price to pay, but when you consider that Underworld Connections is right around 34 cents to purchase, it's definitely a price I'd be willing to pay. Bloodgift Demon is a creature that I've dubbed Phyrexian Arena with wings. A 5/4 flying beater that lets you draw an extra card at the beginning of your turn is pretty cool. He also has the added benefit of being able to target other players at the table with his ability. You may encounter a game or two where your life total is really low, and paying that 1 life to draw an extra card just isn't an option. It's nice to have a little out. Plus, he has the added bonus of only being around 84 cents, so you can pick him up on the low too. Next up is the powerhouse wizard you all know and love, Snapcaster Mage. This little guy is the epitome of value, being able to cast him for only 2 mana, plus having flash, and he allows you to cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard when he enters. Woo! That's really good. If you want to hop aboard the Snapcaster Spice train headed directly to Flavortown, a ticket's gonna cost you right around $76. Similar to Senseis Diviining Top, there really isn't anything out there that does what Snapcaster Mage does. He's a very unique, one-of-a-kind card. However, there are a couple of cards that work as cheap imitators. Archaeomancer is definitely the dollar store version of Snapcaster Mage. Yes, it fills a role and it can do a similar thing to what Snapcaster Mage does, but all around, Snapcaster Mage is just better. However, there's one thing Archaeomancer does better than Snapcaster. It costs 15 cents. Then there's Baby Jace, aka Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Unfortunately, Baby Jace does not cost 15 cents, but he does cost less than $80, so that's pretty good, I guess. Jace's biggest strength lies in flipping him over and converting him to Jace Telepath Unbound. The Telepath Unbound's -3 ability acts in a similar capacity to Snapcaster Mage's Enter the Battlefield ability, which gives an instant or sorcery spell in your graveyard flashback. With Jace, however, you get to cast that spell during your turn, so it's not quite as functional as the instant speed of Snapcaster Mage, but it fills a role. Number 1 is yet another blue spell. Will you blue players please stop having all the expensive cards? Force of Will almost always ends up being a free counter spell, which let me tell you is really annoying. You have to tread very carefully whenever you're playing anybody using this spell, because even if they're completely tapped out, they can still stop whatever it is you're trying to do. And if you want to join the annoying counter spells that make people rage quit club, it's gonna cost you $81.02. Better not forget those 2 pennies. There are a wide variety of Force of Will wannabes out there, but my 2 favorites are Foil and Daze. Foil is a bit tricky to pull off, seeing as you specifically need an island to discard in order to play it for free, but I do really like it. I think it's a really solid budget replacement for Force of Will. Daze, on the other hand, is a lot more conditional, and the fact that your opponents can pay 1 mana to prevent the counter from happening is pretty irritating. However, this is one of those spells you're gonna run and save specifically for people tapping all out for a giant creature, board wipe, etc., and punish them for it. It's important to mention that there are no replacements for these actual cards. A lot of the cards on this list are very powerful, and they also have a high demand, so naturally, they're going to be pretty expensive. Before you run out and spend buku bucks on some of these really high-priced cards, talk to your group about proxying them. Proxying high-priced cards is a fantastic way to playtest them before you buy them to make sure that they're right for your individual playstyle and for your commander deck. Thank you so much for tuning in and for hanging out with me today. If you're down with what I'm doing, be sure to leave me a like, and if you're new around here, subscribe, and welcome to the Deck Builders Society. And you know what's up. Stay classy, deck builders. I'll see you next time.